My inappropriate husband has taught my 2 children on our Disney cruise. Do not be fooled. I'm not a parenting expert, nor am I a travel creator. Now that we cleared that up, let's get on with the story. I'm not sure if you've ever been on a cruise before, but the toilets on here are really powerful. So my husband made it a point to tell my boys not to sit on the toilet when they flush, because if they did, it might suck their balls in. So now my kids are calling toilets ball suckers. That's great. Love that for me. Now this next one, I have to set the scene. My husband comes out of the shower in his birthday suit, reminding them that he's the only one who's allowed to walk around naked in front of everybody. And his reasoning is that he and my boys all have the same junk. They wouldn't be here today if I didn't love his junk. Then he proceeded to slap his junk back and forth and make an audible slapping sound. And my kids nearly lost their shit with laughter. My 10-year-old was laughing so hard he was crying. And now my kids can't wait for the day when they're old enough to do the naked daddy dance. So that's how my vacation's going. Being the only female in my family is really a treat. This is what happened when I was giving my inappropriate husband options on the lunch menu at Disney World. We're done at the park for the day, so we wanted to just get a to-go order and bring it back to our room to eat. I'm reading off the menu to my husband and my 2 kids, who are 5 and 10. Most of the stuff on the menu was sandwiches. There's a meatball sub, Cuban sandwich, a roast beef sandwich. And if you've been following along for a while, you know where this is going. So my husband goes, "I'll take a roast beef sandwich." And his ass does not eat cold cuts, so I know exactly what he's insinuating. I give him this look across the room like, wouldn't you know, he takes it a step further. And he goes, "You know, boys, your mom makes a great roast beef sandwich. I even like it medium rare." And I'm like, the fuck up. They think you're being funny. They don't know what you're insinuating. And they might repeat this shit. So stop it. And of course he laughs and he's like, okay, I'll stop. But I knew he wasn't done. Do you know what kind of lunch meat your mom likes? I know my kids' ears are all perked up because they were just done laughing about the roast beef. He goes, "She likes the bologna pony." Now they're chanting "baloney pony" for all of the resort to hear. It never ends, folks. It never ends. My inappropriate husband said when we went grocery shopping today. My 10-year-old is in the back seat reading his summer reading book. And when we pull up in the parking lot, he goes, "I'm on page 63. And I, as a normal parent, say to him, "Good job, buddy. You're almost halfway done." My husband says, "It'd be better if you were on page 69. And of course, my 10-year-old starts giggling, even though he doesn't actually know what it means. I'm just shaking my head like, okay, are we done here? And my husband goes, "Hey, Becky, what rhymes with wine and dine?" And from the back seat, my 10-year-old yells, 69! Thank you. Thank you for that. And the next thing that happened, mind you, this is all in one trip. There's a little shelf outside the entrance with little potted plants on it. And the sign says 6-inch herbs. You know, like basil and thyme and oregano, what have you. My husband comes over, whispers in my ear, 6 inches, just how you like it. I'll make it grow if you give it a blow. And I look at him, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Now I have to walk in the grocery store with my 2 children, and this is what I have to listen to? I swear to you, this man can find anything and make it inappropriate.
Things my inappropriate husband has said to me while I've been sick this week. First of all, can we take a minute for my 1-900 phone operator voice right now? That is hot. So anyway, I've been sick the past few days, and it's basically been a free-for-all for him around here. I'm sitting on the couch watching TV. My throat hurts like a motherfucker. I said, "Can you go get me the cough drops with the menthol in them? They're on the counter." And he goes, "You don't need those. I've got some throat coat for you." Nice. Or how about when I'm laying in bed with a fever and an awful cough, and I'm like, "Do we have any more of that cough medicine?" And he's like, "Yeah, we have some, but I think some liquid penicillin would clear it right up for you." I'm like, "Would you just get the fucking cough medicine?" And of course he doesn't give up. He's like, "I also have some hot beef injection that would cure all of your symptoms." Like, dude, I am sick. I don't have any time for your bullshit right now. Give me the meds, close the fucking door, and mind your business. There will be none of those shenanigans going on around here anytime soon. So he gets all my medicine, puts it on my nightstand, and says, "Okay, I'll leave you alone. Get some rest." Before he closes the door, he goes, "I've got a creamsicle that'll cool down that fever for you right away." Get the fuck out of here. Inappropriate husband is slowly recruiting my 10-year-old behind my back. Here's what happened in my house last night. We're trying to make our routine a little bit earlier for dinner and showers and bedtime since school is back in session. Typically, my husband showers first, and then my oldest goes after him, and then I'm last. So when my 10-year-old goes in, I remind him to try not to stay in there too long, otherwise I'm not going to have any hot water. And he's like, okay, I know, Mom. Typical 10-year-old, but I digress. After like 15 minutes, he's still in there. The water's still going. I peek my head in there, and there's like steam all in the bathroom. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing in here? There's going to be no hot water. And he's like, Mom, relax. I'm almost finished. I already washed my hair. It takes me a longer time because I have such a big dong to wash. Of course, he's cracking himself up, and I'm sitting there shaking my head, just like... Of course, I have to call in my husband. Jason! He's like, what? I'm like, did you tell him he could take longer in the shower because he has to wash his big dong? And he just looks at me and he goes, yup. I give up, you guys. I give up. My inappropriate husband said in front of my 2 kids today. We were on our way to Whole Foods this morning to go grocery shopping, and my 5-year-old has been on a classical music kick. I know, very demure. So we're listening to a little bit of Ode to Joy. And my son is picking out all the different instruments he can hear in the music. He goes, I hear a violin. I hear some cymbals. Hey, Mommy, I hear a flute. And before he can name another one, my husband goes, you know, your mommy knows how to play the flute. And my 5-year-old goes, really, Mommy? And before I can answer him, my husband goes, yeah, she's proficient at the skin flute. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. The last thing I need is his music teacher from school calling or emailing me because he said, guess what? My mommy knows how to play the skin flute. No, that's not the end. Now we're inside in the bakery, and my husband and I are looking for a sweet treat to have for dessert later tonight. And you know, there's cookies, donuts, cakes, whatever. And I see some cinnamon rolls, and I'm like, oh, how about these? And from across the little shelf that they're all sitting on, my husband goes, I'll frost your cinnamon roll. My 5-year-old yells, well, I want to frost a cinnamon roll too. For the love. My inappropriate husband snuck up on me today, and I was not ready. We're finishing up dinner, and he had a long, hot day at work, so I was just like, you know what, go take a shower. I'll take care of cleaning up. Don't worry about it. He takes off for the bathroom. I know he's going to be gone for a while because he's going to shit and scroll before he gets in the shower. So I figured he wasn't going to come out to the kitchen for quite a bit. I had just thrown the garbage out in the garage, and I turn around, and he's standing right behind me. And I'm like, ah! Don't sneak up on me like that. He just stands there and stares at me with this dumbass smile. And I'm like, what's wrong with your face? He shaved all the stubble off his face, leaving this like upside down U. Is that a goatee? Like, I don't even know. And he's usually clean shaven. So I was like, I go, you're not leaving it like that, are you? Because you look like an idiot. And he goes, but I did it for you. I'm like, well, it's not cute. Shave it off. He goes, oh, no, it's all for you. It's nice and soft and cushy for when you sit down. I'm like, no, that's prickly and sharp. Get the fuck out of here. Didn't you know he left it there the rest of the night, stroking it like it was some kind of invitation? In case you're wondering, no, I did not accept. Rug burn is not my idea of a good time. It'd be a trip to Walt Disney World with an inappropriate husband story. So, here it is. A little background, my kids have a ton of food allergies, so when we're on vacation and we have to eat out somewhere, it can get a little bit tricky. My kids said they wanted to have hot dogs for dinner, and I asked one of the cast members where I can get one here at the Contemporary Resort, and she said go downstairs by the pool, they have a little hot dog restaurant down there. So I make my way down there, and I ask about the hot dogs, tell them about the food allergies. Unfortunately, there's a lot of cross-contamination that goes on down there, so they weren't going to be able to eat them. So I come back up and I tell my kids, listen, we can't have hot dogs today because there's too much cross-contamination. Just to be clear, we're sitting in a wide open quick service area with people walking around everywhere. One of my kids is like, what's cross-contamination? So they can't mix the hot dogs with other things that you might be allergic to because then you might have a reaction. My 10-year-old goes, oh, so you can't mix the wieners with other stuff? And my husband goes, oh, you'll learn more about mixing wieners with other stuff in health class. And I'm looking at him across the table like, and he takes it a step further. He goes, you'll learn that wieners like to mix with vaginas. Shut the fuck up. He said it quietly, and I don't even know if my kids heard it, but still. If you were wondering who the family was who was talking about wieners and vaginas at the table waiting for their food, that was us having a magical day at Disney World. You know the conversation at my dinner table tonight? Inappropriate husband strikes again. It's Friday night. I'm not cooking anything for dinner that's too involved. I made some chicken thighs in the oven, a little green bean, and some french fries. And my kids love pickles. So I pull out the pickle spears, put them on the table, and my husband goes, oh, pickles. I love when you tickle my pickle. And my 10-year-old's like, tickle my pickle. Starts gyrating his hips back and forth to wiggle around his pickle. And I say to my husband, let's not talk to our kids about tickling pickles. Okay? And that's not even the end of my dinner time shenanigans. My husband does his workout before he eats dinner, weights and stuff in the garage, and then Peloton inside. And since he's all sweaty, he changes out of his clothes before he sits down at the table. And my 5-year-old's like, Daddy, why are you changing your shorts? And he goes, because I'm all sweaty and stinky, and I don't want to be like that at the table. And then he whispers across the table to me, but you know that my pants are always shrinking when you're around. My kids are like, does that mean we have to go to the mall this weekend to get Daddy some new pants? No, it doesn't. Maybe we can find him a new filter to use at the dinner table. That's another day with the inappropriate husband.